we're here, lads.
Yeah, but we're changing it up. What happens when we're back?
So I'll tell you why we're here instead of we're back. Daniel, you don't know this, but when Alex and I were on our way back from Mike's place for the Super Bowl party, we decided to listen to the first episode of the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
And instead of we're back, because we weren't back, it was the first episode. It was Alex, we're here. So now we're going back to we're here. I thought I'd change it up a bit.
The portal is opened.
We won't talk about some of the takes we had.
Watch out for the Sabres. Marcus Johansson was going to change everything.
But I will say, though, we sounded so much more positive. It's like we haven't been through hell and back.
We sounded so hopeful.
Naive. It was just we didn't realize the pain that would come.
Yeah. COVID, playoff, heartbreaks, trades, such. It was a rough time.
I have one question, guys. When is this lost episode going to be published?
Never.
The one we did in your
my res.
in your residence.
I have it. It's on this very phone. It's here. I'm typing in my password by accident. But we'll see.
I think I swore in the first 5 minutes, and that was no.
We're talking about the Sharks comeback against Vegas, but no, it's never going to come back. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it was right after the Game 7 loss. I forget which one, but the Game 7 loss, the second one against Boston, maybe?
Yeah, because Tavares had already signed, so it should be the second one.
True, this is true. Looking forward, guys. We're going to talk about hockey. We're going to get to the Leafs in a second here, but first, I think we got to talk about the Olympics. Closing ceremony, that's a thing. By Beijing.
I didn't even know it was over.
Yeah, no, it was very quiet. I think
it was
the ceremony was at 6:30 a.m. Yeah,
it was marketed perfectly in North America.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry to say, it's just for the last 2 weeks, my coverage on it has been Twitter and highlights when I wake up before work.
Lucas Weiss and Ben Steiner.
Literally
is the only reason I've known what's happening around the Olympics.
Yeah,
that's it. So I think first we have to talk about the big one. I just want to. It feels good. What did we say? What did I say on the podcast? I don't have to say who's going to win, and I don't have to say who's going to score the game-winning goal because it happened. Marie-Philippe Poulin once again gets the game-winning goal. The Canadiens win gold. Oh, is it not a great feeling?
Oh, it feels so good. It feels so good.
Redemption for Shannon Sabados in the shootout.
I mean, she wasn't playing, but
I know, but she had good coverage, by the way, on it.
She was really good. Yeah, very, very good.
The women are killing it this year with the Olympics.
Not even just that. So obviously Canada beat Sweden in the Olympic soccer women. Great. Kristen Sinclair, love to see it. Then the Canadian women win the World Championships against the States.
Right.
And now again here in the Olympics they win. And might have been the best women's team we've ever seen.
Probably.
Maybe.
I will say, I'm sure you guys saw the number. There was about 3.5 million people watching that game. The number came out.
Yeah.
At 11 p.m. at night, by the way, which is apparently was better than any NHL game has done this year, which was laughable.
Stayed up to watch it, obviously, and the medal ceremony. Because I thought they would name player of the tournament, but I went to bed at 2:17 a.m. because I'm like, okay, the medal presentation was cool because they brought out we'll get to that in a second because I think we got to talk about some of the stats coming out of this. First off, Marie-Philippe Poulin is the only hockey player, man or woman, take that in, to score in 4 Olympic gold medal games.
Wow.
3 of those were game winners, and obviously the other one where she scored was the shootout loss. God, she's good. We'll talk about Marie-Philippe Poulin a little later herself, though. Another one I want to give out here is, let me just find the exact stat here. It has to do with Sarah Nurse, who, is she not, is it just me, or is Sarah Nurse not sort of slowly the new face of women's hockey? It just feels like she's a lot, very much always there in the side of the media. I really like her.
She has the chicken wing box. That's always a good indication.
You said that to me, yes.
Yes, with Jamie Drysdale, yeah.
Yeah. So she
needs her own Cheerio box, though. That's the thing. Connor McDavid's still in the Cheerio box. A boring man for a boring cereal.
Oh, I said it. So
it's the weekend.
It's the what? Oh, goodness gracious. That was awful. Okay. Anyone who hasn't seen it, so the Oilers have this thing where they post one of their players doing a parody of what's his name? He plays James Ball.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Yeah, Daniel
Yeah.
Craig. His like SNL bit of Ladies and Gentlemen the Weekend, the thing that trends on Friday every week. And it's the Oilers players doing it, and McDavid just goes, I can't even do it. It was emotionally drained. They must have
Gentlemen the
filmed it a couple
Weekend.
weeks
Ladies and gentlemen,
the weekend.
it's the weekend.
He sounds
And
so annoyed.
And he
Because
kind
he
of
knows he has to play on Saturday. That's why.
Yeah, we're going against the Penguins. I'm going to lose. But anyway, he's like Sarah Nurse anyway.
Yes.
A new record of most points in an Olympic tournament. Breaks Wickenheiser's record. Oh,
Crazy.
There's just so much to look at with this team and say, like, can we like get something going here for the women? Like in terms of like a league, like I don't want to diminish what the PHF and like the PWHPA is doing. I just want to see something. I want to see something put together like it, to me, it just feels like there's this conflict that they don't want to admit that there's conflict. And I want it to soar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like there's just that momentum.
Because I think I think there's so many people that would watch it. I imagine including the three of us. Like, please.
It's always when, again, it's the World Championships and the Olympic come around and we all yell about how great women's hockey is. And it disappears for 4 years. So this was a Cintiq Zero tweet I wanted to speak of, and it's going back to Sarah Nurse, but there's a reason I say it. Sarah Nurse, over the last 2 weeks, won gold for her country, recorded a record-setting 18 points in the tournament, was in every commercial I saw run during these games. She's a star on and off the ice, and this country's lucky to have her. The reason I mention that is it's just been – there needs to be some change to do with women's hockey, and I think that change that everyone – we've been talking about for years now is one league altogether, because it doesn't feel like the NHL are going to do anything until that happens, if they do anything. But, I was watching, they obviously had, normally the Hockey Night in Canada broadcast, the second intermission starts with headlines. They pushed it back to talk to Sarah Nurse, and I forget who the other player was. I feel like a dick for not remembering it. And they had personality, and you're like, I love this so much. I always remember the All-Star game the women were at, and they had their 3-on-3 showcase. Humiliated the guys. Humiliated them. You just want more of that. I want more hockey. It's fantastic to watch.
Yeah, I think you like the personality is huge. Like that's such an important first step, especially nowadays where personality is a lot in starting to grow something, and they have it. It's there. You have something to build around. You have these group of players to still build around, whether they're older or younger. They want to be there. They want something. You have we got to do something. We got to do something.
There's that level of consistency. When I mentioned the momentum, that when you have this already, when you have the familiarity of the players, of getting to know them, you want to keep running with it, and you want to keep reminding people to know that these are the people who they are. I'm just going to compare this because it's something that James Duthie has always mentioned every year when it comes to the World Juniors, where you look to the selection camp, for example, and you don't really know the name sometimes, but like he's like, oh, by the end of the tournament, it's like these players are the part of your family already. And for me, I'm like, why can't that happen for women's hockey, even on like the biggest platform, that you have it there, but then you need something to keep showing, like, the content is there to keep showing that we could get more fans out of this, because listen, it's great. There's the obvious evidence that there is a market for this. And a big thing that I've mentioned, like I've been thinking about, is what Will Baldwin said before, a few episodes before, about how the WNBA did it with the NBA. And obviously, like, that's really impossible with the way the NHL's kind of going about it. So I'm all for like making sure that these leagues still get those attentions, where even now, like, even if you could take the Olympics right now and go, hey, you had fun with this was an amazing tournament, how about you support them on a more daily, weekly basis?
Couldn't even do that with the World Juniors, the NHL too. And
Yeah.
To build on your point about the moments there, about like James Duthie saying, part of your family, it's not a Canadian or an American here, but Elias Anderson, the most notable part of his career was throwing his silver medal into the stands of the World Juniors a couple of years ago when they lost to Canada, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Good or bad, he's a household name in the world of hockey because of that incident. You know what I mean? And it should be like that with women's hockey. Before going to Marie-Philippe Poulin, because if there was one good thing to do with women's hockey is it sounds like she's going to be around for at least one more Olympic cycle. We'll get to that and Jeff Merrick's thing on Hockey Night last night in a second. But first off, I wanted to talk about the medal presentation. So if anyone didn't see it, the way they presented the medals was they had these 3 long strips of carpet. They brought out Team Finland, and we're going to get to Finland, the men's in a second. They won gold for them. But this is more important. They bring out the women's Finnish team who got bronze for one strip. Canada obviously in the middle, and then the Americans for silver. What I thought was really, really nice is they didn't get Luke Tardif or the other person who was, I think, a member of the Olympic Committee, don't know her name. And they would let the players put the medal around their teammate's neck, which I thought was such a nice touch. Mm-hmm. Still tough to see the silver medalist because it's so fresh in their mind, but I thought that was a really, really nice touch. Except the stupid flowers that Luke Tardif had, and it was like, hey, do you want to hold this flower? No, because I had to put the medal around my teammate's neck. That was really awkward. But
yeah, that was, I didn't like watching that. Cool.
Especially like the Americans that were really sad. Like, dude, I got to put the medal around. Leave me alone with your flower. But still, really cool idea, I thought.
Yeah. I thought it was for a safety thing. Like, you limit contact.
No, they should absolutely keep that. They should absolutely keep that.
It's clever if that's what they were doing, yeah. Because even right after the game, they're like, all right, masks, and that. So I could see that, but it's definitely it's a lot better than the way they normally do it. No stupid watches. Get rid of that, please. Get rid of that always. If you're announcing player of the game, do it afterwards. Do it a few days after. Please do it. Okay, Marie-Philippe Poulin. I've been very vocal on this podcast about if Marie-Philippe Poulin was going to be done playing, the Habs need to get on that and get her in the organization. Here's what's really interesting. The past couple of days, a report came out that the Trois-Rivières Lions, who are the Montreal Canadiens ECHL team, apparently offered Marie-Philippe Poulin a contract. She turned it down. I think this was all via her agency, and invited the team to help her in the ways of growing the women's game. Then last night on the Hockey Night 32 Thoughts segment, Jeff Merrick said it looks like Marie-Philippe Poulin wants to play at least one more Olympic cycle. And in the background, the Canadiens themselves are very interested in having her in any sort of role whenever she's done. So first off, I think we should talk about the more important thing is, if there's something great for women's hockey, it's having Marie-Philippe Poulin around. That's the most important thing right now.
For sure. I think the next 4 years, for me, I think this time around, this Olympic cycle or this Olympics was a little different because it started with a Rosie DiMano, whatever opinion piece, which in a way brought the community together. And it just, maybe it's a gut feeling. For me, it just feels like these next 4 years are going to be quite important for women's hockey, and to have someone like Marie-Philippe Poulin around, of her stature around, especially if we're going to have one big league together, is going to be extremely important and is a great building block for the future generations.
Here's this very weird thing. We know that Tyler Taminia is apparently going to resign after the playoffs, the PHF commissioner. And a lot of people kind of look at, there's been a few things in women's hockey with, this person getting pushed out or whatever, this person resigning. I obviously don't know the full details of all the women's leagues as much as I should, but at some point, and this is where it's so important for those two leagues to come together, they need stability. More importantly, Marie-Philippe Poulin, some of her greatest playing career was, I think was it the CWHL when she played for Les Canadiens, which was like that. I think it was like the Kelly Cup and no, not the Kelly Cup. That's the
Clarkson Cup.
Yeah, that's for I always get them mixed up. God damn it. But see, that's the thing is there's been multiple women's leagues, and with no stability, well, how are you going to build the game around it? We yell about Arizona and that. Well, there's the same thing. You need stability for this to work. And that's what the women's game needs. And we all want it to come together. By the way, I'm waiting for the Rosie article to say this is all, it was all part of the plan to bring them together.
Yeah.
I deserve a medal.
We're hoping for that, yes.
Clearly
the
wasn't.
retraction. Well, not on retraction.
The 20 years that she's had the same opinion.
You know what?
She's building the community.
She can probably just say, I was right. It was only 2 teams, and she'd ignore it and all that. Going to the men's side of this, though, Finland wins their first ever Olympic gold medal for the men's. Although I think it's the first gold medal at the Olympics in hockey, period. They beat Russia. I'm sure Ovechkin was happy. He only misses out on one Olympic
Don't you mean
medal.
the Olympic athletes of Russia?
They're Russia. Who cares? Let's not make this more complicated.
Yeah, the IOC doesn't care if they dope or not. Like that's been evident. So we might as well call them Russia.
So that figure skater, that's been causing a lot, right? Now, yeah, it's just, man, it's all right. It's all right. GM Ilya Kovalchuk. That's how I choose to look at this. He gets a silver medal. But Finland, good for Finland.
Yeah, good for them. Like I think without the NHL going, I think we actually get to see. It's, to me, it's like a little bit of like, yes, it's not as the talent per se might not be at the same level, but I think it's still, I'd argue, a lot more level playing field.
Yeah, especially from the La Liga and the players that they've been able to bring there. I think Finland had a pretty competitive team. And Adam, your boy, got a gold medal.
Who am I forgetting? Who's my boy?
Sami Vatanen.
He was on the team?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Got a gold medal.
It up.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Is he coming back now to the NHL?
He should have gotten a contract. You're telling me he's not better than David Savard right now? A little harsh. Tell me he's not better than he's been good lately, but Chris Weidman.
The big thing though is he's stayed healthy this year. That's what I like to see about Sammy.
Exactly. So maybe we should be questioning the Stars and their medical staff. Mr. Sagan's always here, and Ben Bishop, Sammy Vatanen. I'm happy for him. That's awesome. That's so sick. I'm really happy for him. Congratulations, Sammy Vatanen, and everyone else. So Daniel, you know that. I saw the stat the other day. So you know that because you pointed out to us, the leading scorer in Olympic history is.
Oh, Team Solani.
Do you know who second is apparently? He's a Finn, and apparently when he was on the team, there was this thing of when he played, they never lost or something.
Was it? It's not Saku Koivu.
Apparently, it's Saku.
Oh, okay.
Never forget.
What a winner!
How the hell did he? He must have. Question later. How does Vincent Le Cabelle have a job with the Housing for a Saku Koivu? Maybe Saku doesn't want it, but there's a question there. Okay.
There's not enough French Canadians in the organization. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel,
come on.
Discussion for another day.
That's a punch to the gut right there.
I'm sorry.
I don't hate the hires they're making. It's just, are you going to hire someone that isn't a white man? It's just, I'm asking. But okay, Leafs. We're going to start with the Leafs because they've got some big headlines around here. Well, big headlines. They acquired. They traded out like a 15 forward for 2 depth players. But in the world of Toronto, it's
massive.
Sickeningly a big deal.
I didn't think it was that big.
It's the only thing I've been thinking about the last 12 hours.
It was the biggest thing last night. It was like Friedman started the show being like, Nick Ritchie might get traded. And then everyone was like, GM of the year. Okay, I don't want to.
I don't think anyone said that. I didn't see.
Man, all I know is I saw Mike Stevens be very, very happy about a death mood Kyle Dubas cleaning up his own mess of a signing. That was harsh. Okay, because it's that's
that's what happens.
That's
No, that's 100% spot on.
Before we get too into this, right? Okay, yeah. So here's what happened. Okay, we know that. So okay, the full trade. I should probably say what it is first, right? That's pretty important. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure. So the Arizona Coyotes trade Ilya Lyubushkin. Pretty good player. Depth defenseman. Defends and that's it. Why can't I remember his name?
Ryan Dzingel.
Mr. 20 Go Ottawa man. Dzingel, Lyubushkin. They send them to Toronto, 2 depth guys, defensive guys. That's all they can do nowadays. In return, the Leafs send Nick Ritchie and a conditional 2nd-round pick. Now the condition is very, very strange. Normally it's kind of like, oh, if they play like this, if they play like that, it's going to go. But no. So Arizona get a pick between Toronto's 2023 third or their 2025 second. Now, for some reason, of my Leafs note, I put the trade at the very bottom, so I was panicking to find it. Adam, you idiot. So here's kind of like my thing of this trade, because does Dubas deserve credit for the trade? Of course he did. It's tidy business. You dump a cap, like it's a cap dump for a pair of depth players, right? Now, Kyle Dubas, I think it was he gave up 3 2-year deals on the offseason. David Kampf, Andre Kasha, and I think Nick Ritchie were the 3.
And Michael Bunting.
No, Kasha only got one.
Kasha got 1 year.
Okay, so
Michael
It was a show me deal.
Bunting.
Yeah.
Bunting and Ritchie.
Yeah.
And
So
Mrazek.
Yeah, he doesn't count. He's a goalie. He's weird.
Okay.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. We don't talk about goalies.
Okay.
You know that goalies are weird.
Okay.
So of those real deals that count because goalies are fake, he goes 2 for 3, right? It just doesn't help that the one that didn't quite hit was the most expensive one.
Yeah.
Simple as that, right?
100%.
Like, I don't think we should be being like, you gotta play Kyle. He cleaned up his own mess.
100%. Like, I think as a Leafs fan, this is my opinion, there's no bad way to look at this trade. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's a spectacular trade, but I don't think you can look at this trade and say, well, it sucks. Like, I think it checks off like 3 different boxes for me. Number 1, you get rid of Ritchie. Like, you can't have a 15th forward making $2.5 million playing in the AHL. It's just, you can't. You get another depth forward to essentially replace Ritchie in Ryan Dzingel, who makes $1.1 million. If you send him to the minors, which apparently he's on waivers today, is completely buriable. And you get a right-handed defenseman who can play on the third freaking pair. Like, I think
27.
Sure. And I think it checks all those boxes. Like, I think there's not a bad way to look at this. Like, okay, a 3rd round pick next year. Are we we're trying to win, or are we trying to be like what are we doing? You know what I mean? Or a 2nd round pick 3 or 4 years from now, the kid's 14 years old.
If Nick Ritchie makes less money, does he get claimed off waivers earlier this year?
I think so. I think so, because he is only 26. He has shown that in the right system,
Which system is that?
So, like, through the dirt type of player, like, what I forgot who said this. It was maybe Craig Simpson or Joe Bowen, where he said the Ducks, the way they play is they drag you through the mud.
Yep.
And I think that if he had another system like that and he could thrive in it, then maybe, like, he did really well in Boston. I was still shocked they didn't give him a qualifying offer.
Because Cassie didn't like him. He kept taking too many penalties.
Yeah. And
Brad Marchand, so you don't put up with that.
Okay, I mean, I'm just put it out there now. Like, I don't have a Nick. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have a bit of a Nick Ritchie bias this year.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No.
There's Nick Ritchie fan club on the podcast and Twitter now.
Yeah, I don't know who tweeted that. Might have been Alex. And yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna miss him. I know that I wanted him to do really well, but the thing is, that's the thing. He's given how many opportunities already? Even when he was protected on the 4th line, he wasn't very effective. And I like the trade. I really do like the trade. I know that it doesn't really move the needle per se, but I think that you cannot lose with this deal. Like, they improved the D. I know that Lyubushkin's not high-end guy, but he has that element that I love, like the Dylan DeMello element, where
not the Dylan DeMello element. There's one name who he fits. It is the Zach Bogosian element.
Okay, the Zach Bogosian element.
Dylan DeMello element.
Will they? like here's the thing with Dubas, right? Is we make this joke of of all these signings, when one gets waived, one gets sent to the minors, never seen again, one leaves in free agency, all that type of stuff, right? And somehow Ritchie was nearly every single one of those in one. Got waived, was all through the lineup, worked for 5 games, and then he eventually,
So what's it? So waived, traded,
walked to free agency because he's a bit too good. Maybe works out. So luckily they've hit more than the obviously Kampf, Bunting, and Kasha have all sort of worked. So instead, all the juju fell onto Nick Ritchie. Now, I'm going to be thinking on this because I, from the start of the year, thought it was going to be Bunting on that first line. I didn't kind of get... Ritchie was always that odd signing out to me because I never liked him in Boston. I was like, he's a weird player. He's a very strange player to me. Here's just one thing I'm going to say. It's a criticism, but I think it's one we have to throw in here because, the one thing that Dubas has to be careful with is, you got to be very careful with the way the cap is now with these $2 million sort of free agent signings because it's what's biting them. And what you don't want happening is every year you're giving up a second or a third. If I'm Arizona, I'm going to bite the bullet and get a second. You have enough draft picks this year and next. You should be further down the line where you can use that second rounder as an asset. Like if I'm Arizona, forget the third. I don't care what prospects available in whatever draft. I'm keeping that second. Right. So it's just like a bit of asset management for the future is Dubas has to be a bit more careful. Now, if COVID never happens and, the cap is a bit, not disastrous as it is right now, it's not a problem, but it's just, I think it's a minor criticism we have to raise. I
think that's a little unfair. Like, I get the point you're making, but this year of the signings he made, 3 of them have worked out. Yeah. One of them is average, and the other one hasn't worked out. In years past, that he made the Kapanen deal. Kapanen, he got. I don't know how he made that deal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right, he signed it, then traded it because he had to. The Janssen deal. Was Janssen. Like I think with hindsight, like we all thought that deal was more than okay when he signed it.
He had his deal was signed. Yeah, he had his best time in Toronto. Right? Like he hasn't really bounce back in New Jersey. I
mean more free agent guys.
Okay.
Not Kapanen and Janssen. Those were in-house guys. I guess.
This is my opinion because what I kind of felt is the Nick Ritchie signing was a bit off the path for me in this cap era with Cal Dubas because we know that he's always been that guy that he would go to Russia a lot. He would go to other leagues just trying to get these guys and make the most out of it. So I think that for me, because like the Kasha deal, I know that was a show me deal, but it was still kind of a low risk deal. I think with Nick Ritchie, you think you had a known commodity there, and it's something where let's see if we could expand it here. And that's the one that it just didn't work out. But for me, it was just kind of off the path.
Kasha, well, the question with Kasha was stay healthy, and with the Leafs medical team, and look what they did with Tyler Ennis, it was a very safe bet to make. The thing with Ritchie was like, okay, a guy with size who isn't 40 years old like Joe Thornton, fair bet. I'm just saying it's my criticism is just because it was the most expensive one. I compared to like VC wasn't that expensive. There's another guy I'm forgetting. I think he ended up in New Jersey too or Vancouver because there was that weird like 2 weeks when they
Travis Boyd.
Travis Boyd. That's it. It's just
he got waived.
Obviously, he didn't sign the Patrick Marleau contract, but there is that thing of when you look at it in a microscope that a first or a potential second and third has been traded to help cap moves. It's all out of his control. I get it, but I still want to put it out there that like seconds are valuable, man. That's all I mean.
No, I understand, but
it's just a nitpick.
I know, but I think it's unfair because it's the one signing he made that gone bad, and now we're calling it. Yes, it's a criticism. I'm not saying the signing was bad. When he signed that deal, I'm like, what? Like, why? Like, it didn't make sense to me. But like all these other moves have worked out, so I think it's just a little unfair to now point out it's a criticism because it was one specific time. Like I'm looking back at these deals that are around $2.5 million, like. They're all from before Lou. Like they're Sean Matthias, Daniel Winnick, P.A. Parento, Matt Hunwick.
My boy.
That's before. That's before Lou.
Yeah, but all of those ones were you didn't have to trade away the cap hit for those. Like I'm going to sit here and be like, you know what? You did what? You gave us a second rounder. It's gone. I'm just saying, like in
3 years. Kyle Dubas may not even be the GM in 3 years.
That's very true.
Austin Matthews may not be a Leaf when that draft pick is selected.
Well, then think of it like this: in 3 years.
Last episode, you said it's win now. You got this guy off the books so you can make a move. Like it is. Their defense is better.
100%. Yes.
Right. So, but why? So why is it now? Why is this bad? Like, why is it a criticism now? But last episode, you have to make these moves to make the team better.
I'm just saying that, like, it's a thing of my thing is in free agency, you just got to be a bit more careful and selective. Because again, it's $2 million in a very careful team. I'm just saying, like, man, be careful. And it's going back to that thing of, okay, I still get annoyed when I hear about in this move, they have to still send down Liljegren. I'm like,
well, they don't now because they're sending Dzingel down. Because they're sending.
Oh yeah, no, because you pointed out
because he's on waivers.
Before the show, I mean, when we were talking.
Oh yeah,
the Liljegren thing. Okay.
Well, you gotta love the hard cap.
Yeah, no, it's awful. I can't say it. I love having to look at a team with a calculator and be like, oh, what's going on here? What's going on here? Okay. Something else with the Leafs. Where were we?
Their game last night.
Listen. Agree to disagree. I'm just like, man. The thing of in 3 years, that's again, my thing is like the Leafs competitive 3 years because that's Nylander, Muzzin, Brody all up.
Yeah.
Is when your team's looking a little different. Maybe if you're restocking the cupboard, so you have the second there. Am I using hindsight? Yes. But I want to be a smartass. It's just Alex, I cannot tease you about Ben Sherrod anymore, so I need some legs to stand on him.
And they also okay, fine. That's a good point. They also have $2.5 million in the offseason to spend now, right? Or like if they want,
which is important. Because actually,
you can go sign another Nick Ritchie and then trade another second, right?
Or 2 Andre Kashas.
Here's something I've been working on. It's not complete, but with Montreal and Toronto, I've just kind of been projecting what their rosters are looking like at next year. This isn't done yet, so just don't take it too much where I'm at right now. But it's just projecting like as of right now, again, it's not done. There are players missing. And I haven't updated this with the trade. But as of right now for next year, the fourth line isn't signed. They're going to need another like third line winger. Again, yes, I know Kasha, RFA, but you never know. So yeah, there are holes we're going to have to fill, and there's going to be a new Nick Ritchie, and one's going to work, one's going to get weighed, one's going to trade, and one's going to walk in free agency because he overperforms. And it's just, that's how it works. That's how it works and all that stuff. So, yeah. Okay, going to the game itself, though, against St. Louis, you knew the Blues were going to have a bit more extra step because they just come off a loss in Montreal. Not super hard travel coming from Montreal to St. Louis. It wasn't a fantastic game for anyone on the Leafs defensive side on the ice, and that leads to the goaltender. First goal, a shot, a rebound that Mrazek. Oof. I just saw the list of people signed. I saw Mrazek. He's on the brain. Doesn't count. Goalies are weird. The first goal, it was a rebound that Jack Campbell just can't give up. The second goal, he just misread very badly. The D kind of left that side of the ice open, but you'd still like to say, you need a save there. Third goal was 2-on-1, not his fault. Fourth goal was a nice tic-tac-toe, but Jake Muzzin has Brandon Saad behind him. He can't let that happen. And then the fifth goal was a tip. Sixth goal was an empty netter. Alex, your criticism of the game, and it's not as bad as Calgary, is it?
No, you know what that first goal felt like? So, wow. I don't remember what game we were playing, Adam, but we went into overtime. ESHL, me, you, and Mike went into overtime. And someone shoots it. Goalie lets off a rebound, and man, someone was there to put it in. I don't remember what game it was. That's what it felt like. Not that I described it well, but Adam, now you understand how it felt.
There was, there was actually this mirror the goal that Caden Primo let in from Montreal. It was like I was having a flashback of it. But overall, the grand scheme of things, it's a more acceptable loss, right?
Yeah, I think like when I watched that game, I thought they lost. They like defensively, my Lord, I do not want to watch Muzzin Liljegren unless it gets better. Like that was rough to watch, just straight up. But I thought they did keep up with them with the Blues, like physically. I didn't think it was as bad as like that Calgary loss, where to me it felt like it was just them getting pushed around. It felt like they were able to keep up with them. And even, offensively for a part, and then it kind of just fell apart. I don't know if you saw Adam, your boy, Willie Nylander had 2 goals.
He was, I don't want to keep saying it, but he's, by Adam Wild's style, I want to do it.
Oh my
But
gosh.
Adam Wild said William Nylander is the best player in the league right now.
I still have not watched that clip. I'm not ready.
Oh, it's man, I get where he's coming from, but he made some missteps there. But if that we're talking about the clip where Adam Wild, the STP, said that right now Austin Matthews is the best player in the world. We're not going to even entertain that discussion on the show because I'm going to start yelling about Sidney Crosby being forgotten. But by the way, just because you mentioned Calgary. Freaking hell, they're a wagon right now. What about you, Daniel? What do you thought about that? What did you think of that loss?
Okay, I think like they did match up pretty well. It's just they didn't end it very well. And I think right now it is a bit of a no need to panic, but there's a few loose things there that we've talked about with the Muzzin Liljegren thing, or we've talked about how defensively they just have to make a lot more adjustments for the little things. I think that's just what happened. I'm not really going to look at this too much because it is a contending team and it's a team they don't see all the time. But overall, I'm fine. I'm okay. I don't know. I'm pretty zen about this. If they have another game like this afterwards, I don't know.
It's the thing of it shows how important it is to tighten up and how tight games get towards this part of the year. And you think, okay, the way right now the Leafs fans should be thinking is, all right, so I want you to imagine instead of Brandon Saad, that's a Sam Bennett right now. That's Corey Perry. And I look at the Florida teams, that's what I'm thinking of. That's where if you're Sheldon Keefe, you're looking at, all right, guys, that's when you start. It's preparing those type of matchups. You know what I mean? It's
just on paper, I don't like looking at it when it says 6. Like they allowed 6 goals.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know that's a 6 is like it's a red flag, but the empty netter and all that.
Yeah.
I've just been made aware. Peter Mrazek will be playing tomorrow night against the Montreal Canadiens.
I thought, oh my gosh, I thought you said he got placed on waivers.
I'm actually so mad. They're backing up Montreal.
Well, they don't. Yeah.
I wish I could swear right now because I'm actually very offended. I'm actually very upset.
Listen, they've done it. They've done it in years past where Montreal was a much better team. This is just a surprise. Also, I wouldn't play Jack Campbell after that game against Montreal.
Bastards. Okay, Peter Mrazek. Yeah, freaking that doesn't piss off the Habs. I don't know. Well, Peter Mrazek, how dare you? Is that Greta Thunberg? How dare you? How dare you? I'm actually so upset.
Why? I don't think they see the Leafs see it as a backup. That see Peter Mrazek as a backup.
He's a 1 B-.
But I think that's why they signed him.
Yeah,
like not to be to be
a 1 B-.
1 B-. Yeah, I like that, Daniel. Let's stick with that.
Just to finish off on the Leafs because we have a few more little nuggets here. Goodbye, Adam Brooks.
Oh my God.
Was he claimed last time we recorded?
I don't think so.
No, because
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got claimed, and now he's where is he?
Jet.
Right?
He's a Jet.
He's a Jet.
That's so weird. Why? Because Winnipeg are further down the waiver wire. Why didn't they get him?
Because maybe Andrew Copp.
I think they had injuries, is what I read the day, like that night, and then they decided to pick him up when the Leafs put him on waivers the next day.
Western Canadian teams picking up the Leafs trash.
I don't know.
I truly believe we will see him play for the Leafs again one day. I believe in Adam Brooks coming back again for the third time.
Oh, we're gonna try and get him back. Guess not. That was something else. Austin Matthews' teeth. No. I put that in the doc because it was the biggest story around the league.
That was funny.
Man, I just looked at that and it's like That's like when you walk into a post when you're not looking, walking on the sidewalk. Except it's don't lose all your teeth. But that was something. Alex, is it fair to say now with this move that maybe the Leafs don't look at picking up Justin Braun because that was people were talking about as maybe a further down the list target, and once Pierre LeBrun Siler Trading was talking about it?
I'd say so. I want to pull up this tweet. I actually just closed it by accident. From
the worst feeling.
I know. Now I can't find who I'm looking for. There he is. He actually goes to Ryerson, Kyle Cushman. He said it was talking about Muzzin, is the quote, but it's related. So I guess he said, I don't get how some people look at what Jake Muzzin has struggled with this season and think putting a Manson /Braun /Shen type beside him will help him at all. If you add one of those types and they play third D with Sandin, that could work, but Muzzin needs someone that can take puck moving responsibility and add mobility to the second pair, not someone who is even slower and can't get the puck out of the zone. So I guess to longly answer your question, no, I do not think they'll be going after Justin Braun.
How about this? This probably isn't going to happen, but it sounds like Elias Lindholm, not Elias. Goddamn Hampus. There's so many Lindholms. Very quietly, the league has filled up with Lindholms. Remember when Hampus used to be the Lindholm? Then Elias went to Calgary, and it's like, he's great. People don't talk about that enough. Didn't talk about it. Anyway, apparently it's from Dennis Bernstein. Two little things here. First off, my understanding is Hampus Lindholm will test free agency. Ducks would love to have him stay, of course. Edmonton would love a player like Josh Manson, but he won't waive to go there. And apparently it sounds like he'll take a discount to stay in Anaheim. And
that's nice. Yeah, he wants to stay in
California, so that's huge. Obviously, I think it's fair to say if you're the Leafs, Alex, you would very welcome. We talked like a big sticking point about my proposed Petrie trade was the cap compilations, the cap issues to do with the Jake Muzzin having to be moved. Yeah. If you could with there do a sign and trade with the Hampus Lindholm, and I think any team could probably do this, you would be a lot more okay with bringing him in, sign and trade, and giving up actual assets. I don't know if you would have a problem giving up a Rodion Amirov if Hampus Lindholm's coming the other way. I mean, that's a very good defense.
Yeah, no, I would not mind that at all. I think it makes that, like, I think we were texting about it last night. You pointed it out. The left side would be Riley, Lindholm, Sandin. Like that's
really
pretty. Good. That's good enough. That's good. That one side, and then you automatically that Brody and Liljegren are somewhere fitted on that right side.
And Justin Hall. We didn't mention him. This
and
episode.
Justin Hall, yeah, it's somewhere. Like I think that would be. I'd be more than happy with that, and be willing to pay the extra for a sign and trade.
It's going to be interesting on the other side though, because the Ducks, they've been sliding quite a bit the last week, but the thing is they won last night. Daniel, okay.
Before you go there, I just want to make it very clear. No one said Lindholm to the Leafs, but I thought I've been so on Alex with Ben Sherratt lately. I think he earned this. So yeah, sorry, go on with the Ducks, because ultimately these two defensemen, it's about them, but I wanted to give Alex that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. It's been a long couple of days.
It's going to be interesting to see how it's going to go for the Ducks in like less than a month now up to the deadline, because they were rolling, but now they were in a bit of a rut. They lost really badly to the Oilers.
They did, yeah.
And they did bounce back against Vancouver, but even that game was shaky too. It was 5-1 at one point.
Yeah, it got a little leaky. I was watching it. It was a little leaky towards the end, but at one point they were kicking the ever-loving crap out of Vancouver.
Yeah, and as of right now, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, because like Josh Manson wants to stay, but does that really fit with the future? Ryan Getzlaf, I don't think he wants to go anywhere. At the same time too, like the young guys, they want all of them to get experience in the playoffs. So do they risk not going for like Hampus Lindholm? Because there's obviously not Hampus Lindholm level guys, but there are guys that they're NHL ready that they could just fill in the minutes. But it's interesting to see what they do.
with Lindholm gone, that's a lot more minutes for everyone else. And I think more importantly, that's more minutes for Jamie Drysdale, which it's going to take a couple years, but that's who's going to be the guy there. Not saying he's going to be the same type of guy as Hampus Lindholm, but I wonder how much money he gets on the open market, because I feel like a lot of us outside the Western Conference fan bases have forgotten how good that guy is. You know what I mean?
I haven't forgotten.
No, you haven't, of course. Well, no, you were, because you're good. But, also more ice time for Kevin Shattenkirk. Am I right?
If the defensive market is anywhere near what it was last year and during free agency, that guy is going to get paid.
Yeah.
Paid.
Can we talk about, by the way, if there's a segment, if one more insider, when they're asked about Ben Sherratt, just says St. Louis and that's it, like we know it's St. Louis, Florida. Shut up. Give me something new or don't say anything.
St. Louis, Florida, New York,
LA. Yeah. Montreal scouts were at the LA game yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, freaking Phil Deneau hit a career high in goals, by the way. Did you see that?
No, that's so under the radar for me.
Can I just, I don't know what I did to get all this Phil Deneau content scrolling through my Twitter page, but I probably tweeted hashtag the Deneau effect about 3 or 4 times. Yeah. And I guess that's enough to get Phil Deneau. That's
karma for taunting me in the early parts of the season.
I don't feel like, listen.
Doughty and Kopitar, Doughty, Norris Trophy defenseman, Kopitar, one of the best two-way. Deneau effect. How dare you?
I just laughed.
Well, now it's the Bergevin effect, right?
Oh, he's such a dick. They have a developmental program for 10 years, and Carey Price still dragged him to the finals. And they're such a useless organization. They ruined his career, and he was still amazing. Oh, go on, Daniel.
Oh, no, it's just a random thing where I kept saying under the radar. And then Jonas Siegel just tweeted out, Kyle Dubas on Lubushkin is that he's kind of under the radar in Arizona. And we thought compared to the market on other types of guys that it was a good bet for us. So that's the word of the day, under the radar.
I like it.
Yes. Words of the day. Phrase of the day. Statement of the day.
Phrase.
Statement of the afternoon.
I'm seeing stuff about I'm seeing F1 news leaking out. That's slowly coming, eh? Ferrari may be good this year.
Sure.
Oh, Charles Leclerc World Champion. It's coming up. Just watch. Or Lewis is going to come back with a fiery passion. If you guys care, Marcus Niemela has been fined $2,043.75.
Who?
Marcus Niemela.
Don't know who that is.
Niemelainen. Sorry, he's a young defenseman.
Oh, okay.
Niemelainen. Yeah, I think he got called up once Woodcroft took over. By the way, the Oilers are like 4-5-0 under him. Of course, we're not going to talk about that. No, of course not. You don't get the credit, Edmonton. I refuse. Where are we now? Oh, goodness. We're almost done. Okay, we got 2 things to talk about. First off, talk about the Habs, and we'll finish off with Brock Boeser. The Habs won. They won a game.
How did you celebrate?
Jumping up and down, and I yelled the phrase, "He's a bear. He likes fish, honey, and climbing trees," when Cole Caulfield got the overtime win.
The short king.
Yes.
Returns.
4 goal per game under Marty St. Louis, by the way.
He's just, you know why? He's just at practice. He's like, just do what I did. Okay.
Yeah, you watched my tape growing up, kid. He's just so annoying. It just made me think if it was any other coach beside Dom Ducharme, Caulfield would be in the Calder conversation right now, without a doubt.
Probably, yeah.
I have a funny story, by the way, of that Martin St. Louis joke I just made.
Sure.
So, one of my favorite pitchers in the MLB is Zach Greinke.
Okay.
And one time, I don't remember the rookie's name, but he said, when I got called up, he's the guy who's like the staff ace of the team. And I just wanted to say, how can I get better? Because he's like, I want to stick with the team, right? I want to just be that guy for the team. And he's like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll show you some video. And they're like, yeah, we went to the video room, and then Zach just puts on him hitting a home run in a game. And he's like, just try to do more of that.
That's like Wayne Gretzky coaching. Just do what I do.
Yeah.
That's awful. That's awful advice.
That's how I feel like Martin St. Louis he just sees himself in a young Cole Caulfield, and it's like, no, I know what I need to. I know how to coach this guy now. I know the adjustments. I know what you need to do to be competitive at your height, at your size, and what you can contribute to the team. So I'm confident in that.
We literally have two extremely short, talented players in the league in DeBrincat and Caulfield, and the Habs literally got the greatest small player of all time to be like, all right, teach him everything you know. And it's been incredible to watch. It was really scary because Petrie took a late game penalty, and I think Jake Evans took one too. But I think once Petrie's went over, and then I think it was like this wicked one-timer from, I think it was Pavel Buchnevich gave St. Louis the lead. And it was like, is Mombo going to get a game that he's played great and cost again? And I ripped Weidman earlier, but that Caulfield goal to tie it up, Weidman made a really wicked pass on it. You got to love he's out there in the last minute because Petrie just wasn't good for so long.
He didn't feel like it.
He had a really good game against St. Louis, though. Did you guys see the side-by-side video of that St. Louis goal? It was that goal and his first career, and Caulfield's first career goal against the Sens. It was nearly the exact same. Yeah. Alex will remember that goal because we were on FaceTime with Mike and I screamed extremely loud.
Can you recreate it for me right now?
About Teddy Bear.
I don't have enough in my voice.
I can't get over you calling Cole Caulfield a bear and Mike just not having it anymore.
Yeah, because he's old. Okay. I need to get, because listen, I don't know if I said this on the show. I probably have, because Cole Caulfield's short and he scores a lot of goals. He's adorable. So he's like a Care Bear. I call him the bar down bear, and bears love climbing trees. They like eating fish and they like honey. Winnie the Pooh. So he's a bear.
No, I fully understand
Yes.
I get it.
But you know, Ilya Briskalas only scared of bear and forest.
What?
Ilya
Do you ever see that clip?
Yes.
Where it's like, are you afraid of like playing them tonight? He's like, I'm only scared of bear and forest.
Bear and forest.
Where else are you seeing bears?
I think they asked him about the Bruins. It's like, are you scared about playing the Bruins tonight? He's like, I'm only scared of bear and forest.
What if they're playing an outdoor game around it, like in a forest?
I don't know. Somebody we need to have him on the show. I think he would say yes.
Ilya
Brizgalov?
Yeah.
We should try it. I think he'd definitely be like,
no problem.
We just show him our reactions to some losses, and he's just like, why you have to do that? It's only a game. Why you have to do that? But yeah, they won. Woo! You love to see it.
I saw the fun fact that St. Louis' first win was against St. Louis, which also happened to be, I think it was the game he scored his first goal against St. Louis too.
That's neat.
I'd like to say it's a shame he never played for the Blues.
Because it was just, imagine the French games. It's like, ici, les Blues de St. Louis. Le Marty St. Louis. There's a Habs Twitter follow, a great one. I forget his first name, but it's something, and his last name is St. Louis.
Oh,
and he was tweeting about the St. Louis game and it being Marty St. Louis' first win. And I was just looking at like what's going. Every time I see a quote from Marty St. Louis, I keep thinking the Blues have done something. Why does no one have an E? Why does no one have a freaking E on your names? Oh, it's just it's difficult. If I was like if my timeline was full of like blue stuff, it'd be a really bad problem. Did you see Tony X's response to the Habs beating the Blues?
No.
How was it?
Oh, he wasn't happy. Because like obviously you don't pay much attention to teams in last. Like if you're like the Blues, you don't care and you don't pay enough attention. The Habs been playing a lot better under Marty St. Louis, like we do. Obviously, you just see it as you're the Blues and you just lost to the Habs, the last place Habs, by a significant margin. You know what I mean? But it was really fun.
Imagine.
Blues fans everywhere were upset and made me stronger. A really big thing to talk about with the Habs. They made a pair of hires. Vincent Le Cabelle, in his home in Florida, like he's just that guy, is apparently now a special advisor to the GM. I'm not sure what he's going to be doing. I think he's doing scouting and he's going to be a recruiter, I don't think he's making significant decisions. They're just going to get his advice on something, which is fine enough. And they also bring in Nick Babrov, who at one time was head of European scouting for the Rangers. He is now going to be co-director of amateur scouting for the Habs, which is kind of strange. He's had a mixed bag, so let's see what he does. Gordon trusts him. I know a lot of people have been saying it's the sort of boys club, right? I don't have reason to question Marty St. Louis yet. He's done great things for Cole. Kent Hughes has made 2 moves. The Hammond stuff was needed, and I love the Toffoli deal. Fire Ducharme. Jeff Gordon has done all the right things. I don't have anything. I can't question them yet. One thing I do want to very much question here is Jeff Molson had a big thing about this. We're going to make diversity hires in the hockey ops side of things. And all due respect to Marty St. Louis, Kent Hughes, Jeff Gordon, Vincent Le Cabelle, and Nick Bobrov, but they're all white dudes, and I'm kind of like, come on, can we maybe clean this up a bit? Can we maybe get some not traditional hockey hires here in terms of not white dudes? I guess drop my phone. Crap. I get it. I bet they're all good hockey minds. It's just, I'd like to see a bit more than that.
Try something else. Yeah.
Daniel Savongay is still around. You lost Emily Castonguay. Please? Is that okay?
Pretty please.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm happy at least the Habs didn't give up any prospects for Marty St. Louis this time. And not Marty St. Louis, for Vincent Le Cabelle this time.
Yeah, instead of giving up their whole future.
Oh my god! Like I remember
who would have been
hearing
the
about
GM?
It was Bob Gainey was the coach or the GM, right?
I think he may have been coach still.
Okay.
I'll have to double check. Not to mention the return seems to always change depending on who you ask. But
it was like
Subban, Pacioretty, Price
in a first.
Yeah. So when did I guess he mentioned I gave
it was 2008.
2008. Let me double check because in that press conference that Marty St. Louis had, it's funny how they didn't talk to Bobrov. Apparently, it was just like we're going to talk to Vincent, even though the other one, the most important position. So in that press conference, Vinny was like, "Oh yeah, I authorized that trade to happen, but it fell through." Right. So let me just double check who was the GM back then.
That was the year that they got Stamkos to Lightning. I remember.
Great, imagine it was Gainey. That's very strange. Remember when Pierre Gauthier was around for like 2 years?
Oh yeah,
that was very strange. Oh, it's 4. No, that was 2 years. I'm an idiot. Yeah, no, it was Gainey. Okay. Gainey always, it felt like he tried to get Kopitar for years. There was always a sort of move in his back pocket. But talking about trying to make moves and trying to go after someone for years, apparently the Devils for a while have been trying to get Brock Boeser. This is from Frank Saravelli. You may have heard of him.
Well, he's a New Jersey boy though, right? Yeah.
Brock Boeser?
Like he's from like the township, like a township in New Jersey, right?
Is he?
Because I remember they talked about him and Bobby Ryan in the same
Brock Boeser.
Same conversation.
No, he is from Minnesota.
Never mind. My apologies.
And he went to North Dakota. So
okay.
And he played for the Waterloo Blackhawks. I don't know what word that is. SIOUX City.
So he's not going to the Wild?
No, he's not. He played with Joe Snively in 13-14. That's interesting. For anyone who doesn't know, that's a rookie in Washington.
Oh.
Had a good game against the Habs, and then that's it. That's funny. Oh. It's very funny to look at, actually. So anyway, the Devils apparently, per Frank Saravelli, have been pursuing Boeser for the last couple of seasons. Haven't been able to get it done. Also hints that the Devils might not be done in their push. We know Pavel Zacha's around there. And the big thing for the Canucks is they just don't know quite what his deal is going to look like and if they want to pay him. Am I the only one who thinks it's kind of dumb to trade Brock Boeser, even if you have to pay him a lot of money because he's really freaking good? Like, am I?
Wait, sorry. From Vancouver's perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't understand this at all.
For me, he's a building block. I don't understand why he keeps, getting the short end of the stick where they've mentioned the other guys who are the up and coming or the younger guys, and they say, I want to get a deal done. And I feel like Brock Boeser is always kind of, well, we'll wait on this.
It seems to me every time we have this discussion, and especially recently because of the rumors that came out around when Travis Green was fired about Bo Horvat and JT Miller and stuff like that. Like it seems like there's this perception that you can either have JT Miller or you can have Brock Boeser. But my question is, why can't you have both? Like you can very easily keep both going into next year, re-sign Brock Boeser. And if you don't think JT Miller is going to stay and you don't see him as a building block, then trade JT Miller. Why would you trade Brock Boeser? Like I don't understand.
Younger player. He's 24 now. What's he 25? Oh, he would have. He turned 25 in a couple of days. He's still super young. I'm just looking at his hockey DB. His rookie season in 62 games, that's 29 goals. 69 games the following season, 26. 57 games, 1920s up to 16. That would have still finished him close to 30 goals. Last year in the COVID shortened year, he played all 56 games.
Wow.
You think of what happened to Vancouver last year, 23 goals in that, 49 points. This year he's up to 15 goals in 45 games played. Imagine if Boudreau was his coach the whole year. 113 goals in just under 300 games. Guys, what are we thinking? I forget about if JT Miller's in his play style and his personality. This is Brock Boeser. This is a very good player. What are we thinking here, lads?
I don't get this upset. Like, you know what? Maybe these rumors are also false, but I don't get the obsession with trading Brock Boeser because it feels like to me since the day he signed that bridge deal, we've been talking about trading Brock Boeser at least a couple times a year. Like, why? Like, what's the point?
I'm going to quickly do some maths here. If I know how to actually properly calculate goals per game, we'll find out. I don't know how to do it. That's probably wrong. I know how to do it. Anyway, he's a freaking good player. They're a very strange team, the Canucks. Like, Rutherford, what are you doing, dude? JT Miller, who apparently who's right now he's 28 already. We know there's stuff between him and Horvat. So, and not to mention, even if you want to give the money to Horvat and Boeser instead, Horvat is also 2 years younger than Miller. If you're going to regret a contract, then I feel like there's much more likely a chance to regret JT Miller's. And I think you want to lower the chances of having disappointing deals looking at OEL and Tyler Myers' deals.
I just, unless Brock Boeser is asking for $1 bajillion, I just don't see the reason to trade him.
And he fits the window, he fits the window a lot better because I don't think the Canucks are winning the Cup this year or next year. And JT Miller is he's already going to turn 30. He's 2011, his draft.
He's 28 right now.
28, okay.
Well, here's what else is kind of frustrating here is, even if it's I think the QO for Boeser is around $7 million.
Yeah.
That's worth it. Tarasenko's 7.5? No, is Boeser a 30-goal guy and Tarasenko can be up to 40, but still that is but you got to look at when Tarasenko signed that deal all those years ago. What was it, like a 6 or 8 year deal? And we're coming up to the end of it now. Geez, that feels like forever ago. What was I? But I just that's a fair deal for Boeser if it's around 7.
From Vancouver's perspective, I want to ask you guys this. It feels like they have about $11 million in cap space next year. They got to re-sign Boeser. They got nothing else of major significance except they need to get a backup goalie. To me, it feels like you're going to trade Brock Boeser, get that extra cap space. Let's say they do that deal with New Jersey. They get Pavel Zacha. But they're trading Brock Boeser so that they can retool their defense in the offseason. And I think Jim Rutherford said it, like they have a very good goalie and everything else it's not great. It's not fantastic in front of him. I don't think that's the guy you trade. If you're trying to retool, like you want it in an age range, don't you? Like, what do you guys think that's what they're trying to do?
I don't know. If they get a fair deal on like a solid defenseman, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, not Pavel Zacha though.
Yeah, that one was a weird rumor to me.
If you're looking at New Jersey defenseman, Kentucky Hamilton, obviously.
I'm getting like Ty Smith or.
Yeah, and are they going to want to give up Ty Smith? No. David Severson's not the type of defenseman they need. So I have a lot of questions as to what New Jersey just doesn't seem like the right dance partner to me. If you're going to trade him to get a defenseman, man, it does not feel like William Nylander talks all over again. I think you're looking at the wrong sort of team to talk to.
Sure. But from New Jersey's perspective, though, this would be a deal. Oh my God.
Him and Hughes would be nasty.
So like I pulled up their daily face off here and I'll share my screen so that you guys can see here.
Maybe New Jersey have been too busy in free agency instead of the trade market.
This is their forward core. Like, so let's say you take Zach out and you put Brock Boeser in, and you got a second line of Boeser, Hischier, Tatar. Like, that's not bad.
Put them or freaking put them with Hughes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You have options. Then you can get freaking Jimmy Vesey out of lineup. What's that about?
Like, I just don't think it's bad. Like, New Jersey could use him, and I'm sure they would love him.
Give up a first and all that. Not this first, because actually, you know what? Yeah, he's a good player. You know, we'll see where New Jersey end up in the draft order, but I don't know where.
I saw the Chris Johnson show thing that made me laugh.
Sorry?
On the YouTube tabs at Osharat.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting through that episode. As I told Adam yesterday, did I tell you, or a couple of days ago? I'm like, I just needed a few days off.
I felt really bad after last episode because I was pushing the Ben Sherratt thing so much. And I see the Steve Dangle podcast episode had 2 different segments about Ben Sherratt. And I saw the Chris Johnson show had a Ben Sherratt title, and I thought,
what have you done?
And then I see every Habs fan. I thought this was really funny, including Patrick Talon, who faked a Jay Fresh war card chart for him, and they were all attacking Kyle Dubas. And I'm like, oh, Alex, no, I'm so sorry. It was hilarious.
No, it was hilarious.
But it was credit. Like, oh my goodness gracious.
I give people credit where credit is due. That was hilarious. But again, Dubas has a mistake with that Twitter. I wonder if he just looked at this one. He's like, what? Why do I have this account? He has a burner account that follows the podcast. And he made the Labushkin trade because he's like, I can't do this to Alex anymore. Exactly. He felt bad. That's why mercy trade. That's actually why he signed Zach Bogosian. Yeah. Because he was listening to the podcast, and I said, the Leafs could really use him. And in that offseason, they signed him.
He wanted that niche group that would buy the merchandise.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't you DM Leafs Twitter before they made it kind of like actually told everyone what number he was going to wear? So
I did, and they responded.
Wow.
Excellent
customer service.
I know.
And with that, we can call it an episode for today.
Happy Family Day, guys. Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's happening, isn't it? I forgot about that.
And it's reading week.
What are you going to read?
I have 3 books I need to read. ENG, whatever the novel is off, of course.
I have some research I got to get done.
All right, with that, everyone have a good week. Thank you for listening. Find us wherever you listen to your podcast. There's video versions of the pod on Spotify and YouTube. That's pretty fun. Check out the show on TikTok and wherever else social media exists. We're probably on it. Same with our personal stuff. There's a Facebook page for the show too, and TikTok. We love the TikTok. Daniel stuff. CJRU. Alex, you have some new stuff, don't
you? Not yet. Soon. There's some stuff up there, but that it's not me. It's our team. Okay. But you should definitely go check it out.
I'll come to a game sometime.
Sure.
The YouTube channel for me. Don't expect any uploads until perhaps do something. Because it's gone quiet. And with that, rate the show on Apple Podcasts too, because we gotta fix that. Who are you?
Spotify, you could rank. You could give it a rating now.
Why did Instagram let you like stories? Why?
I don't know.
Well, why?
It's like you didn't need to do that.
You could do that
because you can send reactions.
It's new. It's literally yesterday. I didn't realize. I posted a story and then I saw someone liked my story. I'm like, why? Like, I didn't know you could do that.
Just like your story.
Why?
Bye. We'll see you next time.